Hello, my name is Dwight Gillespie, and I would like to welcome you to the Change Your Life podcast. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe, hit the notification, hit the go ahead and make comments, share with your friends. If you hear anything that seems worthwhile, go ahead and share that. I want to welcome you to the channel. What we do here is we discuss things, basically give you motivation on how to change some things in your life. You know, if you're in a rut, what it is. It was Will Rogers who once said, if you're in a hole, the first thing you got to do is stop digging. And I love that, you know. Another one, he said, I believe it was Will Rogers, said the only difference between a rut and a grave are the dimensions, which I thought is just a great quote. So anyway, we talk about things here that can help you improve the quality of your life. So if you're living, you know, in that mediocre thing, and I've done it for a good number of years. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about finding a mate, right? And what is that about finding a mate? How do we find a mate? Like, how do you attract a mate? And I have to be honest with you, I haven't been in a lot of healthy relationships. I've been divorced twice, but I have, you know, most of my insights are from observation rather than actual practical experience in this particular area. You know, a lot of other things I have some experience, but in relationships, it's a little bit different. But there are things that I've noticed. Now, we run another channel, and that channel is called Trash TV Review. And I bring it up here because it's a great segue to let you know. Over there, it's a very different channel than this. I use a lot of expletives over there. And it's Trash TV. And what we do is basically review Steve Wilkos and Maury shows, right? We get their clips. We review them. Some of them are very funny. And we learn what not to do, right? Through comedy, sarcasm, and common sense. We can watch these people make these horrible, horrible mistakes in their lives and learn from it and hopefully not repeat their mistakes. But the fact is that most of us do these things. Most relationships are just not successful. You know, and I believe it comes down to like healthy people find healthy people and sick people find sick people. Because when a healthy person meets a sick person, you go out on a date, right? And it's just wackadoodle, right? Healthy people say, you know what? It was nice meeting you. Have a good life. I hope you get the help you so desperately need, and be well and take care, right? Lose my number, and they leave. Unhealthy people go, I think I can fix her. I think I can prove to her, even though she's been complaining this entire date about how every man in her life has always cheated on her and her father left her and everybody leaves her and all that stuff. You know, I think I can show her what a great guy I am and that I'm going to be the one that's going to keep her and that everything's going to be good in this relationship. See, that's what sick people say, you know, or the woman who says, yes, he doesn't have a job and he has 4 children by 3 other women, but he already said even on the first date that he didn't love them and he loves me. And you learn that on the first date. You see, these are like what we call red flags, but sick people will engage in that kind of discussion, right? She say, well, you know, I am currently in the process of seeking a mate, and now here comes the thing, right? Because I have friends who say, I don't understand. I keep meeting all these wackadoodles, men and women, right? Wackadoodles. Where are you looking for them? You know, like maybe you should stop going to the wackadoodle store because that's pretty much where you meet the wackadoodles. You know, if you tell me, like, look, I'm in a recovery program. I talk about recovery a lot, right? I'm in a particular 12-step program. I don't really date in the 12-step program because you know who I find in 12-step programs? Other 12-step people. And I'm sick enough, right? I don't need to get somebody who I know has a lot of problems. And not that everybody, look, I've met some very good people and most of them are actually already in relationships because that's another thing that happens with good people. They get taken up. The point is that, you know, where are you looking to meet the people? I have a very good friend. He meets these women. He says, it's all the same. They want money. All they want to do is get laid. I'm looking for a real relationship. What do you mean? Tinder, plenty of fish. Okay. Maybe it's time to stop looking. Like, what are you looking for? You know, well, I'm looking for a woman who likes culture and likes to, you know, do things, likes to go out to fine restaurants and museums and the opera. And you're looking for that on Tinder, are you? Hey, why don't you just, you know, go on Backpage? I'm sure you'll find somebody there you can take to the opera, you know, for a price. Backpage is no longer, it doesn't exist anymore. But that shows you how out of touch I am with that world. Anyway, you get my point. The point is like, what are you looking for? All right, well, I'm looking for some. Well, how about you go to a museum? Maybe you go to a museum, see if you meet somebody. Go to some shows. Like, what do you like? You know, I do a particular thing. It's a storytelling thing. It's called The Moth, and they have them in different cities. It started here in New York City. And I go to those, and you can meet nice people who are into that particular that kind of thing, storytelling things, free poetry sessions, things like that. Like I like that, so you go there. Bookstores. I love bookstores. I like people who read, so you go to bookstores, you meet people there, right? And it's not saying that these people are going to be different, but at least you start with a common interest. Because look, I'm 59 years old. This isn't, I'm not 22 and able to have sex all night anymore. I'm going to want to talk because let me tell you, nothing for nothing. Like I said, I'm not 22 anymore. And I don't want that to be a focus of my relationship anyway. And I talk about this a lot too in a lot of my podcasts. I don't believe in having sex quickly anymore. I don't believe in that because every time I've done that, it's led to bad things. Every time I've done that, if the sex was good, I forget about everything else. It's all out the door. And I'm getting married in my head. Like I'll move that fast in my head. I'll fall in love if the sex is good enough. And not pay any attention to all the red flags that are going on around me, like there are bells and whistles going off and I'm just like, oh no, but the sex is really good, And that's gotten me into a couple of marriages. And I'm not saying it was all their fault because I was just as sick as they were. Because, once the sex stops, what do you got? Now you're in a relationship, and I found I can be addicted to love. And that love really starts when things get physical, it brings it to another dimension for me. And people say maybe that's old fashioned or whatever. I don't think that's it. I just know myself. So I tell you, like I said, I started a new food regimen, right? I don't eat sugar or flour. I don't consume it, right? Because I know where it leads to. It's the same thing with sex. It's not that I'm not going to have sex, but I know what it can lead to. And I want to make sure that I'm at least compatible with this person before I put myself in a precarious situation. If I know where it's going to end up, if I go a given route, right? It's just like anything. They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result every time. And a lot of times it's not even the case with me. I know the result it's going to give. I just start thinking I can handle it better this time. Like I don't even go through the insanity of thinking it's going to be different. I just think that I'm going to be stronger. Like, and that in itself is even more insane. Why go down that road if I know where it's going to lead, right? If I know it's going to lead to my ultimate destruction, I don't want to do this anymore. And maybe if you're tired of, as my friend used to say, I date the same woman. She just has different faces and names to tell them apart. Like that's on you. That's not on them. And the women who said, why do I always attract these men? I remember one particular young lady who, she was very attractive, and we got into this discussion. I said, well, you give it away for some muscles and a pretty smile. Like you've got to value yourself higher than that. Stop sleeping with these guys right off, but that's what they want. Say, yeah, and a 3-year-old wants ice cream for dinner. It doesn't mean you give it to them. You can respect yourself enough and have that integrity about you where you don't have to give it up. And look, if sex is fine, if that's what you're doing, if it's an understanding. I've been in that situation too, where it's an understanding. Yeah, we're just having sex. And then you hear, well, do you like me? No, I don't. No, I don't. And anyway, just because you say it doesn't make it so. And again, I go back to Maury. I've seen enough of them where you get the guy comes on and says, "Yo, Maury, we were just kicking it. It was for 2 years. We were just friends with benefits. We was knocking it. Just having fun." And then she got pregnant. I don't know what she's talking about. It ain't my kid. And why? Because you said you had an agreement, right? Hey, we was just kicking it. If you're not in love, it means you can't get pregnant. And then she comes on and says, "Oh, Maury, we planned this baby. This was ours, and we meant to do this, and we've been in love." And they're both telling the truth. They would both pass a polygraph test, right? Because in their minds, that's exactly what it was. Probably in the heat of the moment, say, "Yeah, I love you, sure, I love you, whatever. What do you need to hear, right? Let me." And then, I'll tell you whatever you need to hear. And then I got to go home to my girlfriend, So it's a matter of treating yourself, and I'm big on having personal integrity. Now, I'm not saying I have the most integrity. I have some detractors out there, trust me. But to myself, to thine own self be true, right? If I know that these things are going to lead this way, I don't want to get involved in situations that I know I can't handle, right? And this started out with like, where am I looking for people? I'm looking for people that are going to be compatible with me. Where am I looking? So what I'm trying to tell you, like, after a while, you can blame all these horrible men in your life or all these horrible women in your life. And, and why do I attract these people? Blah, blah, blah. Where are you looking? And really, maybe it's time to start looking elsewhere and start really reevaluating your life and what your priorities are. If you're sitting home, like if you're a dude and all you have are these chicken heads, if these are the women you're attracting, maybe what you're offering, being a pot smoking, video playing kid who's 26 years old, doesn't have a job, and is still sleeping in his mom's basement and asking her for money for a Metro card every month. Maybe you need to start looking at what you're giving. And that was another thing that happened to me. I really, after my divorce, I decided I wanted to get back into the dating scene, right? And I had to start thinking about, well, what do I want, right? Because that's number one. What do I want? Who am I trying to attract? I want an attractive person, right? I want an attractive person who works. She's got to make her own money, because I don't support anybody. And that's one thing I've always been throughout my life, right? I support me. I don't support us. Attractive, intelligent. I want somebody I can have a conversation with. I do read a lot, right? So these are the things I want. I have to be willing to give the same thing. And when I took a look in the mirror at my 5'7", 280-pound frame, I said, I wouldn't do me. If I was a chick, I would not have sex with me. I forget, there was a comedian that said that, and it was very funny. But it's true, I wouldn't want, and look, again, we can get into that fat phobic stuff. I've done enough episodes about that where I don't worry, but I am fat phobic, by the way, without a doubt. I'm not phobic of fat people. I am fat phobic because at my age, fat leads to diabetes, hypertension, bad knees, bad hips, bad back, breathing problems. Okay. So if you want to judge that, judge it when you're 59, and then you can write nasty comments. By that time, I'll be dead. Who cares? So, yes. So the thing is I have to be willing to give what I'm willing to get. And I have to look at where I'm shopping for these things, right? You don't go to the dollar store looking to buy Louis Vuitton unless it's the knockoff stuff, downtown. And you get that, but it's not, you get what you pay for. But I have to be willing to give what I get. I have to be willing to shop in the right place for what I'm looking for, right? And that is the crux of it. If you want to change the relationships that you're in, if you want to change the people that you're around and the people that you associate with, you have to start changing some things internally first, and then it'll become an external motivation, right? Because when you start going to, for example, you want to meet somebody who's fit and trim, go to a gym, you join a gym, right? And you'll find them there. You're not going to find them in a bar. If you're going to bars to meet people and you can't understand why all you meet are bar people, well, hello, it just doesn't work that way. And these are the things that we talk about. Listen, take a look at some of the old videos. They may help you out. If you have any comments, if you have anything you'd really like to discuss here on the channel, let me know. Put it in the comment section. We'll definitely take a look at it. We're always willing to take suggestions. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit the notification button. I always forget that notification button. I don't know why. Subscribe, notification, like, share it with your friends. By all means, make comments. Have a wonderful day. My name is Dwight Gillespie, and this is how you change your life. Be well now.